And good morning. Yes, we are back. Dave King and Matt Martin right here in our places. Connor behind the glass doing his magic, making us sound just wonderful. Even better than we are, which is going a ways. 7:08 a.m. And as promised, we have Bryan Preston on the phone this morning. Good morning, Bryan.
Well, good morning, Dave. Good morning, Matt. How y'all doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Bryan, you're with the, we know very little about what we're going to talk about this morning, so I'll bet you're going to fill us in, but you're with the Texas Land Office, is that correct?
Yes, sir. I'm the Director of Communications there.
Okay. So what's up?
Well, what's up is we're doing an Alamo Treasure Road Show. We stopped in El Paso Monday on the first stop. We're in Midland right now. We had the event here last night in Midland. And we're going to be in Lubbock tonight at the Texas Tech National Ranching Heritage Center. And what this road show is really is the first time the Alamo has come out around to the rest of the state and brought a few artifacts. Not a whole lot, but we brought a few artifacts. But more importantly, we brought the preservation plan that we've been talking about, everybody's been talking about for about a year. We're going to be talking about that. And we want to hear from Texans what you want at the Alamo, what you want to see done at the Alamo over the next few years as we engage in this really once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to tell the Alamo story better, to recapture its battlefield, and to build it a museum. So all that's going on tonight here, or where you guys are in Lubbock. I'm still in Midland.
Yeah.
So, Bryan, let me ask you this. Are y'all going to be looking for things that y'all can curate for the museum? I know that y'all have asked people to bring things in.
Yeah.
And so is that what you're doing? Or are you just trying to do more of a... this is what you have, and how is that going to work?
Yeah, that's a great part of this, actually. For the first time, the Alamo is really going to be asking Texans to bring your stories and even your artifacts to us. Say, for instance, you had a family heirloom that you know belonged to your great-great-great-granddad who fought in some of the battles of the Texas Revolution, maybe fell at the Alamo. We want to hear about that because in the future, the Alamo is going to have a proper museum, a world-class museum that's going to display the Phil Collins collection and the Alamo collection and some of the GLO collection too. And we want Texans to be a part of this. We want folks to come in and be a part of this history. And in the future, your family heirloom, this treasure that you bring, it could possibly become part of an Alamo exhibit. So think about that. If folks listening at home this morning have something that has a connection to Texas history, and in particular, of course, to the history at the Alamo, please bring it to us. We'll have Dr. Bruce Winders there tonight. He is the official Alamo historian. He'll be there to look at your piece. We also have Mark Lambert, who is the Chief of Archives and Records at the GLO. He'll be on hand, and they'll be able to look at your piece and assess it for history, and at least we'll get your information. And like I said, this could become a part of Alamo history in the future. And whether or not your family heirloom does, we want to encourage everyone to come out because right now this is a really critical time for the Alamo as we move forward on this preservation plan. And you can all become a part of history just by coming out tonight, by hearing what we have to say, and by letting us know what you think.
Okay, so we're talking to Bryan Preston, the Director of Commissions at the Texas Land Office. Now, I do have a question for you about what y'all are doing. Are we on track for, I know Phil Collins had given some time dates that we had to meet or whatever. Are we on track for that?
Yeah, we're on track for that. Phil Collins, for folks who don't know, I'll rewind a little bit. He donated a collection of incredible Alamo artifacts and Texas history artifacts to the people of Texas back in 2014. And that gift came with a stipulation that we should make substantial progress toward building a museum to house and preserve and protect it by 2024. And we're on track for that. In 2015, we bought 3 buildings that are from the Alamo on the other side of Alamo Plaza, which is actually the battlefield. Those 3 buildings will be the site of this museum. And we're working with the city of San Antonio right now and working through into the early summer to get the land, get the battlefield conveyed to the state so that we can start preserving that battlefield.
So is that like the where the Ripleys, Believe It or Not, and the Wax Museum and stuff like that were?
Yes, that's where those are now, and we're also working with those businesses and with the city of San Antonio to relocate them because those are fine businesses, they're good attractions, but they're on the battlefield footprint. And I think no one really thinks that's acceptable to have these attractions on the actual 1836 battlefield. So we're working with the city and with those good businesses to relocate them close by so they can thrive, but not be on the battlefield.
Well, let me tell you, the Alamo has a special place in all Texans' hearts, and I've got a story to kind of explain that. When my Yankee New York son-in-law was here some years ago, we were walking down the river, and there was a sign that said you can go up here to the Alamo. And I said, Steve, we're going to go up here, and when we get to the top of the stairs, you'll be able to see the Alamo. And he said, oh, okay. So we get to the top of the stairs. He stops and he peers across the street there, and he sees the Alamo, and he looks at me with this puzzled look, and he said, "They play basketball in there?"
No.
But that's a Yankee for you. But we Texans have a special place in our heart for this. Let me ask you: can you tell us some of the artifacts that you have on display?
Yeah, sure. We only brought a handful because, of course, we're a traveling bus and truck caravan heading across, northwest Texas right now. But one of the pieces we brought, I'm really excited about. A lot of folks probably familiar with the John Wayne movie, The Alamo, that was filmed in 1960, and that was filmed out in Brackettville, Texas, and that was actually the first movie set made in Texas. And we, myself and Mark Lambert, our chief of archives, we went out to Brackettville in January to see what they had because they were selling everything off, having an estate sale, essentially. And we picked up the gun collection from the John Wayne Old West Museum that was out there. And one of the pieces we brought from that is a musket that was made in 1838 by the U.S. government. It was a military issue. So it had a life as a military issue weapon. Then it would have been surplus. It would have had a life on the frontier as families protected themselves. And then when John Wayne sets up that Alamo out at Brackettville, which is still there, it's an amazing sight, this gun, this musket, was painted brown, and then it was used as a movie prop. So this musket has this connection to the Alamo's pop culture history and is also an authentic weapon. So people who come out will be able to see that. They'll be able to see a replica of the Musso Bowie knife, which is one of the knives that Jim Bowie is thought to have had with him at the Alamo. But more importantly than the artifacts we brought, we want to hear from folks here who may have artifacts to bring to us that can become part of the Alamo's history. And like you say, the Alamo has this special place in Texas history. It really is the place where the Texan identity, what it means to be a feisty, freedom-loving Texan begins. That's at the Alamo. And so this preservation project is critical, I think, and it's very, very important for all of Texans. This is about our heritage. This is about our history, and it's about making sure the Alamo stands for another 300 years.
So one last thing, could you just go over the times? You said it's tonight. What time and where is it at again?
Yep, it's 6 p.m. tonight at the Texas Tech National Ranching Heritage Center.
Okay.
All right. Very good. Well, listen, it's an interesting deal. A lot of people should go out there and take a look at it. Bryan Preston, thank you so much.
Well, thank y'all. Thank you for having me on this morning. Appreciate it.
You bet.